name is Debbie, an AI powered workflow automation specialist. I want to quickly walk through an AI powered calendar automation system I built with n8n. This system is designed to automate calendar management across email and Telegram. So instead of manually reading messages, checking the calendar, creating events, or looking up for appointments, this user can simply send the request and let the automation handle it. I built this into three connections workflow for email scheduling, Telegram voice scheduling, and Telegram calendar lookup. Let me quickly walk through. This is the first workflow here. This workflow handles calendar requests that come through Gmail. It starts with a Gmail trigger that watches for new related emails. From there, the workflows first normalize the incoming data we are working with. We consider a consistent structure regardless of how the email is formatted. Next, we check whether the request actually contain information treated as scheduling request. If it doesn't, the workflow can route it and instead of trying to create a calendar event. So in this particular route is going to ignore if it doesn't contain anything related to calendar events. So we have moving to the next. For the scheduling request, the AI agent process the email, extract the important information in this, and things like event title, requested the start time and end time, time zone and description. The AI is also able to interpret natural language rather than require the user to provide everything into a strict format. So this route schedule the event when a user requested for a schedule. So before an event is created, the workflow check calendar conflicts. That is where it check for the availability. If requested slot is not available, can be the event can be created automatically. If there's already something scheduled during that time, the workflow follow the conflict path instead of blindly creating duplicate appointment. So for this conflict path, it's going to for this clarification, but it's going to send back to the user that this time you requested is not available, and like you should choose another time. So moving forward, the final part, it handles the response of the notification. So the user gets feedback once they have um booked their appointment. They get feedback, so the user um know what about to happen rather than having to manually check their calendar. Their calendar is automatically created also. So the overall process is essentially email AI extraction, routing, availability check, calendar actions, and notification. Then moving forward to workflow 2. Yeah. The second workflow solve the same scheduling problem, but this time user can do everything through a Telegram voice message. It starts when the user send a voice note through Telegram. The workflow receive the Telegram voice note as a file and send it for transcription. Once the voice note has been converted into text, the AI process is transcript and extract calendar information. So for example, the user could simply say something like create an appointment for Sarah tomorrow at 2 p.m. The workflow does not require the user to provide the date in a specific format. Neutral expressions such as tomorrow, next Saturday, next week, a similar date reference can be interpreted and converted into appropriate calendar date. The extracted information then structure into this calendar node. It work with the correct date, time zone, and everything. So before creating anything, we add an availability check, yeah, so that we don't just create double booking. This is important because we don't want automation creating an appointment on top an existing event. Then this if node is to like if it determine whether the requested time is available. If the time is available, the will also continue in this event step and it creates an event. If the event is not like if the time slot is not available, the workflow takes another part and send response back to Telegram and tell the user that the requested time is not available. So the user gets the result directly in Telegram without needing to open Google Calendar. So the overall flow here is Telegram voice transcription, AI extraction, date and time processing, availability check, that is if condition, and it also notify the user once an event has been created. So we have the third workflow here. This third workflow is slightly different. Instead of creating an appointment, this is allow the user to ask their existing calendar event directly from Telegram. So, for example, they could add, what do I have tomorrow? Or what meeting do I have next Saturday? The AI lookups to interpret the request and identify the date expression and the user referring to. So if the user says next Saturday, the workflow converts that into your actual calendar date and create the appropriate size range for the next day. So this code node prepare the date range, Google Calendar, including start day, requested time, period, and everything. So Google Calendar searches within the range. Like this Google Calendar searches within the range and return a matching event. The results are then formatted into a simple, readable response, and the raw Google Calendar date back to the user. Finally, if the node check whether if events are found, they are formatted as sent back to Telegram. If nothing is found, that is, if there is no event, the user receive a message letting them know that there is no event at the requested period. So the user can simply ask Telegram assistant what is coming up, and the automation searches the calendar and returns the answer. So these three workflow works together to automate the make calendar task work. That is the workflow. One handles scheduling requests coming through Gmail, which is this workflow. Then sorry. Then this workflow two allows the user to create appointment using Telegram voice while checking for conflict list. And this workflow three allows the user to query their existing calendar and get their upcoming event directly in Telegram. So the goal is to remove a repetitive manual work around calendar management while still keeping the user informed at every step